Only Scott 36. I am here with Lorenzo Hazelwood. How you going, bro?
Hey, man.
The frontman of Silcrow and, well, himself.
Yes.
The solo project as well.
Frontman of myself.
The frontman of yourself.
Yeah.
No one else? Do you do the drums as well? You do everything on your solo stuff?
For the first EP, I did everything. I recorded that in like, the lockdown days. So I did everything. And then the second EP, I did everything except the drums. And then the third EP, I did only the guitar, rhythm guitars and vocals. So I got like less and less of me as it went along.
Yeah.
But, I'm happy to do it. It's good fun.
Yeah. Just start porting off the jobs, eh?
Yeah. Opportunities just sort of started presenting themselves. So I was just taking them and being like, okay, I might want to get some more people involved in this. So kind of just evolved that way.
Yeah, I was talking a little bit about your sound before because I've listened to your stuff for the past week, just sort of trying to get a feel for it with your Silcrow and then your solo stuff. So kind of my assessment of the sound is sort of like Silcrow is kind of like the heavy blues, kind of like there's definitely some more metal in there, more chunky riffs. Even your guys, not Believe, but the other one, Staying Alive. No, is it
Stuck in a Lie?
Stuck in a Lie. It's one of the more streamed ones you've got.
Yeah, that's our latest release, so it's probably coming up at the top, I guess.
Right, and I think it was that, and it just the guitar, it's interesting because some of the older stuff is more bluesy, and then just hearing more riffs sneak in and the blues, it's still there in the soloing, but then more the heavy riff stuff. But then your solo stuff is kind of reminds me almost of Bon Jovi.
Whoa, I've never had that before.
No, a little bit of the Wanted Dead or Alive. It's sort of that acoustic guitar style you've got.
Yeah.
With then the kind of the rock and then not his vocal style, but the grunge. You've got kind of all the grunge vocals on that.
I think so.
So grunge is a big one for you. Is that your biggest genre influence, you'd say, for yourself?
It just has to be, Yeah, I mean, I pretty much started singing. I was watching a Pearl Jam video when I was 16 or 17, and I thought about singing for a few years leading up to that. Before that, I was just a guitar player, and just was watching this. It was the Jeremy video, and I was just oh shit, I'm just gonna figure out how to do that or do something like that. It's just I'm just gonna start singing, and just began and started teaching myself, and yeah, that's how it all started.
That's cool. Yeah, I went through a similar journey myself with just doing vocals. I was 23 when I started, but similar sort of thing. I was my part of it was also I was just tired of being with singers, and then but for you, when I listen to the solo stuff, I can hear that in the early Silcrow stuff, it's kind of like that. But then now it's, you obviously got more members and now things are a bit, would you say it's changed quite a bit?
With the band, you mean?
The band, as in the sonic. Your voice is obviously still, is developed in that, but it's still your voice. But then instrumentally, it's it's definitely not the same as a few years ago, to my ears.
No, yeah, there's definitely been quite a bit of development. I mean, we used to have another guitar player, and now we're down to a 4-piece with just one guitar player. So that sort of, influenced the sound a little bit. We were also just sort of going in a slightly different direction than our earlier songs, like Sink In. They're a bit more metal vibe, and then we do get a bit more bluesy now. So yeah, there has been a bit of a change, I guess. I mean, overall, maybe we've gotten less heavy, just riff wise, I would say. But in terms of the intensity, I would say there's more heaviness now.
Yeah, well, that song, because Believe, was that the latest?
Believe was our second to last single.
Second to last single. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I listened to that one a few times, and that one's kind of riffy. Yeah. And it definitely has a bit the intensity in it, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I like that song a lot.
That's cool. I like how you guys don't shy away from the sort of solos. You guys don't shy away from that. I think a lot of rock metal bands for a little while now have definitely kind of shied away a bit from that. There hasn't been people don't do that as much.
Yeah.
Probably for since being kind of involved in music, probably every now and again I'll see a death metal band shred. It's either pure shred or what's my favorite one? Like the Boomer Bins. It's like
Yeah.
that's the Polyphia one that's funny as
The dad bands.
yeah, the dad rock stuff, and there was kind of like no real like in between of that.
Yeah.
I sort of found, but you guys have kind of found like a nice spot with the solos, because doing solos is can be a tricky thing to pull off in songwriting.
For sure.
To make it tasteful,
Yeah.
and to fit it, because it's not always. There's a lot of people a guitarist would be like, "Oh, sweet, this is my time to fucking show everybody what I've been doing."
It's weird because our guitar player Oscar, he's a shredding demon. He's an absolute beast. So earlier he was more into just ripping solos and shredding his balls off. And then like take the song "Believe" for an example. Like the solo is it's just like a couple of bends and some like tappy pull off thing. There's no shredding in that solo. So he's kind of gone like he is doing less solos, and we were writing some new songs, and I'm like, dude, just rip a fat solo right there.
Yeah.
Like it can be like 4 bars. Like people just want to hear a bit of shred. Well, at least I do, because I like that sort of the grunge influence that I bring to the band, and then
It does call for that.
Yeah.
With the guitar work.
It does. And then he's very, he's got a lot of 80s guitar shred influences, I would say. So sort of bringing those together is pretty cool, I think. And I'm a fan of his of his style and his lead playing. So I'm like, dude, just fucking do it,
Just rip it.
Yeah.
Because kind of a sound like the bands I hear, if I just rattle some off, so it'd be like Alice in Chains, I can hear that.
Yeah.
Is that all you guys are into, like a lot of that? So like 90s grunge, Stone Temple Pilots, like we're talking, I guess Nirvana, slot that in, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden.
Yeah.
You guys all love that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's my
together?
bread and butter.
Your bread and
for
butter,
sure.
that stuff, 90s rock, alternative,
Yeah.
metal, almost.
Yeah, and I think sort of, when the band was getting together, I sort of brought that influence into the band, and then the other guys in the band, they obviously, liked that stuff, but I think maybe they've gotten a little bit more into it because of my influence, which is cool.
Yeah.
So now we sort of, we share that influence a bit more now, so it's a cool thing.
Any sort of other... I couldn't tell if I could hear like any orchestral elements in it. Maybe in some choruses. Was it? Who'd you record with?
For those ones, that would have been with Scott Seabright.
Oh, Scott, that was at the lab. Is it at the lab? Or was that a few years ago? You guys did the lab. I was looking on your Instagram. I saw that you guys were at the lab for a bit.
We have been at the lab. We recorded a bunch of stuff that never got released at the lab.
Okay.
Stuff we did with like drums for the song Justice, and for the song Earnest as well. But we did like pretty much the drums at the lab, and then took them and did some guitars ourselves and got them mixed, and then these other ones we've done with Scott Seabright. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he's done a few bands have been on this podcast, and yeah, like Scott from the Boondocks.
Yep.
Like yeah, he's done those guys, and he's great, eh?
Yeah,
he's
no,
really
he's
good.
awesome. He's awesome. Yeah, no, it's really cool to work with a producer and get that experience of like, what does it take to get this sounding as good as anything else out there, in terms of production and also songwriting as well. But I feel like...
Pushing your abilities as well.
Yeah, and I feel like the more we've gone back and worked with him, the less sort of guidance he gives on the songwriting, which is like, okay, this is a good sign. We're sort of getting closer to something better,
What's you guys got any plans at the moment for like tours or anything like that at the moment?
I'm trying to set up something in the coming months. Definitely want to tour. We just played our first gig back this year at the Wine Cellar last weekend.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a few photos of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a fun show. But yeah, would like to play more outside of Auckland though.
Sure.
I've played a lot in Auckland, and a little bit outside, but yeah, really would love to get back there in Wellington, Christchurch, the Mount, these kinds of places, do some shows down there. So I'm just waiting back for some venues to hit me back and that kind of thing. But it's coming. It's in the works.
Nice. Yeah, organizing gigs we'll talk about quite a lot on this podcast can be as a local musician, you have to become an event organizer as well at the same time. Put on many hats.
Yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot of skills by like, not like, I wouldn't say managing the band, but just, organizing a lot of stuff for the band and like,
you just kind of have to out of like necessity, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like it's often good if one person sort of takes the lead a little bit, like it is a band and it is collective and we all decide to do things together. But if one person's like, hey, let's do this, then it's a good, starting point, a good to follow that direction, I think. Yeah.
What's influence in the sound that people may be surprised about for you guys as a band? Is there any like any artist or band that you really love and you might maybe take some inspiration from, and people be like, oh, wouldn't hear that in there, couldn't pick that?
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of the influences are like, we kind of wear them on our sleeves. They're kind of obvious in a way. I mean, I like heavy shit, like, fucking Lamb of God and stuff, and I really like the soft, more acousticy passages and like like Opeth songs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Opeth, yeah. You do have a bit of an Opeth lot going of the front man. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Mikael.
Yeah,
Mikael Ackerfeld. He's the man. I love that dude.
Oh yeah, amazing musician.
Yeah. So they're definitely like an influence in there. I'm trying to think of I can't think of a good one.
No Britney
like
Spears?
Secret influence. No Britney Spears.
No Cardi B?
No, I wouldn't even know any songs by them. Wouldn't have a damn clue.
You wouldn't know any songs by Britney Spears?
Oh, mate, no, Britney Spears. Yeah, I think so.
No Cardi B song, not even some WAP? What a song.
Oh yeah, I think I know that one. Yeah, I think I have to know that one.
Thinking about, because as like listening to you guys as well, I'm just thinking at the moment about, especially like the sound of like 90s rock metal stuff. When it kind of came out, there was kind of a bit of like, how would I say, badassery, or there's a lot of like a reputation around it kind of being a bit seedy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
like the 90s Seattle stuff, more specifically.
Yeah.
Kind of my point I'm drawing back to when I said Cardi B is like, it's very interesting with like time, with how that stuff now is like, oh, this is just like cool music, and like most people who play in rock metal bands now, I do find there are some like out there folks.
Yeah.
But these days it's like people in rock and metal bands are quite sensible.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's,
Not all the time, 100%.
Yeah.
But like I'd say 70%.
the danger is gone.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The danger is a little bit gone. Whereas like, but even hip hop now, I think in 2024 specifically speaking, that is kind of, I've noticed that sort of calmed down a bit, because the formula of that has just been beaten to death.
Yeah.
And speaking of like Cardi B and that, even that sort of stuff, it's like people just don't, I don't know, it just doesn't quite on like a commercially successful level.
Yeah.
I just feel like, because now I listen because sometimes I like to check in and like see what is the most popular music right now.
Yeah.
Because I find that quite interesting. And like at the moment it's like the Olivia Rodrigo, a lot of that, but she does like alt rock 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, this is like number one stuff, Gen Z or younger love this stuff. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going like back in another cycle of like alternate music again, which is very cool. But it's like,
Yeah.
music's funny like that.
I hope it's coming back around again. It would be great for me.
Where's the money?
Give me the money, man. But yeah, you get a lot of those. Yeah, just a lot of younger people just like ripping, old grunge bands and stuff, like t-shirts and shit like that.
Started off as like brand stuff. It's like I
true.
like with like what was that, like Cotton On. I remember I had a friend who used to work there, and she had no idea about most of that music, and then she was like, got this Metallica shit, and I'm like, that's not just like a clothing brand, eh? It's like shit like that. It pissed a lot of people off, and I understand why.
Sure.
I can understand why, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, it's cool that people are wearing the shirts, and whether or not you like the logo, but it's like, even back in my day, going to the record shop and then looking at CDs, and it wasn't records, but CDs, and then I get an album. I thought, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy it. I mean, it's not
man,
exactly
if people
the
get
same,
into
but
these
that's the
bands
process.
because of the cool t-shirts and the cool logos, then whatever, man, that's cool. Just happy to have more people interested in this kind of music.
And the gatekeeping, definitely. I had the guys from Fingertight on, and we talked about like the gatekeeping going like overboard at one point. I think like the early 2010s, and then that kind of like shot a lot of like, well, mainly like the metalcore and hardcore scene in the foot, because a lot of that alternative music in like the 2000s got real huge, and then it just kind of died down, and then now it's kind of like slowly coming back. So it's like very, I gotta stop talking about that, because I talk about it all the time on the podcast. But it's like, I don't know, music trends and sort of like seeing where you're at is, I find that very, very interesting. Chord progressions have definitely gotten more dull, that's for sure. I definitely listen to, if you'd like, again, top 10, be like 2 chords.
Yeah.
in like
But
a
man,
song.
you can do a lot of stuff with 2 chords. Like if you can write
Nothing wrong with it, but
a
it's just
banger.
like there's this argument I hear about music structure, or
Yeah.
sorry, like more like because it used to be the 4 chords, which probably to some people back in the day was like that's lazy.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like 2 chords.
Yeah, true. It's all chopping and changing. It's all cycles though too, right? You know, what's the next cycle going to be? Is it going to be this sort of, you know, more alternative grungy thing coming around again? We shall see.
I don't know. I find a lot of like younger people are definitely turned on to like very technical music. I think it's interesting. Like attention spans now are so short, so almost like technical music becomes more interesting again.
Yeah.
Because it changes so much. Whereas before, it's like you hear a pop song and it's like, oh, this isn't stimulating anymore.
Yeah, maybe progressive death metal is going to be the next big thing.
Maybe. Fucking oath. Imagine that.
Little
Fathers
bit of that
Murder,
stuff,
number
but-
1.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that would be sick. Just to have it happen would be sick.
You guys got some pretty heavy breakdowns. You got like not chunky genty, but definitely
No.
like you're dipping your toes into the world a bit.
Yeah.
What's the you guys? Is it drop B? You guys are in, or is it a bit lower?
Like half our songs are in drop C and the other half are in C sharp.
C sharp. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the songs sounded like quite low. I can't remember which one. I can't remember now. But one of them definitely had like a bit of a chunky intro, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like almost like a drop B kind of.
Could have been Sink In.
Oh, Sink In, yes, that's drop C though. What are you saying?
Yes.
Drop C. Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
sure it's drop C. Pretty sure. It was a while ago now that we did that.
Love drop C.
Good shit, eh?
Fucking great tuning.
Yeah. I just keep going lower and lower. Most of my solo stuff is in drop C sharp or just a half step down standard tuning. So yeah.
Very grungy.
Yeah, of course.
half step.
The way it happened was like I was doing a bunch of covers gigs and stuff, and I'd be playing 90s grunge songs, and it's all like a half step down.
It's got used to it.
And I just, it was like, oh man, it's pretty challenging to sing anyway, so I'm probably not going to sing it a half step higher, even though it's not really that much at all. But I was like, I'm just going to stay in this tuning now. It's just way easier. I'm just going to bring all my songs down to this tuning, and I've just stuck with that ever since.
That's cool. I did that with like standard tuning. I just kind of like some of them were like kind of high, but I just kind of got like if you do it all the time, it's just sort of like, oh, this is my range now. I think.
Yeah. It's good to experiment and try different tunings and different keys and stuff for different songs and see what happens. It's an exciting thing.
Yeah, for sure. Are you do you have plans to maybe, change up that? Like, what's the direction of the sound for maybe your next releases? Do you guys have any sort of like, are you just, obviously you're kind of in that grunge, heavy blues rock world. Mm-hmm. Are you going to try and maybe have a look at some other stuff to add in there? Maybe some other bits and pieces?
I mean, I think eventually that'll just happen, you know. We've still got 2 more songs to release off this EP. So, when those come out, you'll hear those. They're obviously in the same range for sure. But like for me personally, I never really think about a direction musically. I just sort of
No, I get that.
let it happen, And as well, being in the band, the other boys are bringing in ideas and stuff. So, and we just bounce them all between ourselves, and the different influences, create different results. So yeah, it's not really a conscious thing, but I'm sure, there is a development, definitely.
No saxophone solos?
Ooh, I need to learn how to play saxophone first.
Or some kazoo?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a bit of kazoo?
Maybe I'll learn to play the tambourine really good.
Tambourine solo?
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be that good.
Hey, man.
Just in general, like a
If you play
tambourine.
tambourine, it might be really good.
Tambourine, adding in tambourine could be good, but a tambourine solo, maybe not.
Yeah, actually. Okay, we'll think about
Have a think about that. You know what actually works fucking sick in a mix? Is a shaker.
Yes, dude. Shakers are fucking so sick.
Underrated.
I love them.
I think they're underrated.
Yeah.
It's so crack. I was
agree.
listening to I was with Zoran Mendoza, you know him?
Yep.
So he he showed me the like isolated tracks for Sad But True by Metallica.
Oh, you showed me those 2 as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
There's just a shaker running through it.
Yep. So sick.
I'm like, man, who would have thought? But it just makes it sound like, it just adds that little bit of extra crisp, Just,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But who would have thought?
Yeah.
Like having a shaker in the background, just like a real, like quite a, I guess for the time, definitely a heavy song, especially in like the, charting rock world.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just a fucking shaker going on with these badass riffs.
Yeah. After that, I bought like some little egg shakers to try to use on like some demos I was making, and just like I couldn't really get it to sound right, but I know it's a good thing,
Got to find a use for the shakers. I actually bought. I've got a bunch of egg shakers as well, and I'm going to use these, and I haven't.
Yeah,
but in my head, I'm like, I gotta do it sometime.
I know, it's just cool. It's just a cool thing to have.
What's the most challenging thing you find in the studio? Do you have something you find challenging when you go and like record with Scott, or like singing or guitar or whatever? Like, is it or like getting the lyrics in time, like getting the lyrics written in time, or something like that?
I mean, definitely singing. Singing is by far the hardest thing. Sometimes I'll write some guitar parts that is like takes me, a decent amount of time to actually get right to play, to play them well. But yeah, I have memories of sort of being in the studio recording guitars and stuff and being like, man, this is great. And then like trying to record vocals and sing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a pain in the ass.
Vocals is brutal in the studio.
It really can be, You
got to put in a lot of pre-production.
Yeah.
More for vocals than guitar, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't actually like practice guitar. I mean, I don't play in the band, but I play solo acoustic and stuff and on the recordings. But like I definitely practice singing, I just find it needs to be done. Whereas guitar, I can sort of do what I need to do without really. Just if I play every day, I'm sort of good enough for me where I need to be. But singing, like, it has to. I gotta keep it conditioned. I gotta, just put in the work, man. It's,
well, otherwise you kind of lose the muscle. That's one thing I did an open mic night last night for the first time in fucking years, and I was like, because I used to sing all the time, and then I kind of just didn't do music for a bit. And then I definitely was like getting back on my vocal exercises again. Yeah. And I was like, man, like I used to be able to hit like reasonably kind of like the pop punk range of vocals. I like couldn't get back up there. I'm like, oh no, is it gone forever? Like, is it gone? It's not gone, but it's got to like work back up like again, like it's like going to the gym. Yep. That's how I explain it to people. It's like going to the gym. Got to be more getting that voice nice and crisp at the high notes and all that. And, get rid of all that, how would I say, rust.
The rust, yes. The rust needs to be shook off.
Fuck yeah.
I definitely consider it like a gym routine, just like every day I'm going to do my exercises and do a bit of singing and just, just keep it in shape. It needs to be done. Otherwise, I mean, I've taken weeks off, and then I feel like it's taken me, longer than the time I had off to get my voice back to where it was before, which is super frustrating because, like, in your mind you can do this or you can make that sound, but it's just like your voice physically isn't there. It's really frustrating.
You got to like and there's so much involved in vocals, like in terms of being prepared even for a gig, like when you eat to like and like what you're drinking as well, like just
how much talking you're doing before the gig. Big impact.
Yeah, just how like even if you like shout, it's like, oh, is that gonna fucking do something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like our last gig at the Wine Cellar. I was just, talking to, people and friends and stuff, and I was on the door taking tickets and stuff, and then it's like we're playing in like 10 minutes, and like, oh dude, my voice is kind of like already thrashed just from speaking. It's something you got to watch out for.
You got any like remedy you drink for a gig or something you have that you find, like some tea or like I've heard room temperature water a few times since it's been on here. People have like
I feel like that's the only like true answer.
Room temperature water.
Yeah. But to you got to be drinking that all day and to be hydrated, hours before you actually play.
Yeah.
But I'll get some like this tea. It's called a throat coat. It's like some sort of mushroomy tea thing. It's kind of gross, but it's
those like magic mushrooms or just normal mushrooms?
Well, depends.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Depends on the mood.
I can't imagine doing a gig like that. That'd be fucking wild.
Oh, fuck that. No way. A couple of beers and I'm happy to play.
Yeah. I don't know how people do that. Like, it's like watching like old Oasis videos. Well, they just would fuck it up. But like, have you seen those?
Yeah.
And they're just high as shit. And they're like playing. As I saw one with like Liam Gallagher, and he's just like literally, I don't know what he's taken, probably for heaps of cocaine or something, and just like so high that he can't even, he's just there like, oh.
There's that infamous gig. I think it was like maybe their first ever gig in the US, like when they were starting out, and they like tried to find some coke or something, but they ended up snorting meth. And like the gig just like fell apart and shit. There's like articles and little mini documentaries just on this one gig. It's so fucked.
Yeah, because they always complain about, we never made it in America. I'm like, you guys probably just fucked up. Like that's probably like Oasis live. I've seen it because like I do like the music and
I love
obviously
Oasis.
bangers.
Fuck yeah.
But live, I watch it and I'm like, the amount of money they probably charge, I don't know if I'd pay it. Like, was it like don't get me wrong, classic band, I understand, but I'm like, the live performance is like, that's fine.
I will say though, I saw Liam Gallagher on his solo tour here.
Oh yeah, how was he?
Last year or 2 years ago. It was so good. He was absolutely on point. It was phenomenal. It was so good. He was like, we saw him like drinking like little gin and tonics, beside the stage and stuff before the last song. And he just absolutely killed it.
Voice sounded great.
Yeah, he was on point. It blew me away. Because, like, I don't know if you've seen them, but there's these videos on YouTube.
Never.
It's...
Never seen them live.
It's, what is it? I've gone blank now. It's like Liam Gallagher's voice change throughout his career. And there's a patch there in, like, the 2010s where he sounds fucking horrible. Like, he can barely sing. And then it just, like, gets way better. And he's, like... fucking sick now. It's cool.
Must have put in the work, or realize he has to go solo, so he's like, "Fuck no, I really have to put in the work."
Yeah, I gotta hold my own.
What's the story of him like giving out? You hear about the gold record story? Have you heard that one?
No.
So I'm gonna paraphrase this a bit because it's a long time since I've heard it. But apparently there was some guys like around his house or something. And this is at the time when like a bunch of their albums had gone like, that's been like late 90s or something, like pinnacle of like their fame. And he was just handed out like their platinum records to people.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, just take it.
Don't mean nothing to me, mate. Just take it.
Fucking have it.
Fucking have it, mate.
For a band with such like a kind of like a rocky kind of not aggressive sound, they certainly are aggressive.
They're aggressive people.
Like as people.
Yeah, there's such a...
Like their music is very like kind of... I don't know. It's just like non-offensive rock.
It's the message behind the music is so positive.
It generally is very positive.
And then they're just such like fucking.
They seem like cunts.
They're like cunts. I love them both. I fucking love them.
I mean, they're funny as shit, but I don't know. Like, it'd be fun to hang out with them, but they don't really seem like the best people.
Yeah, I think nowadays,
probably these days,
they're both dads and they've lived the life, so I think they're sort of a little more chill now, but they still have that attitude. But back in the early days, they would have been right cunts.
Yeah, just fights all the time.
Yeah,
they got some great stories though.
Oh,
very like notorious, like what Liam bringing in fucking like a bunch of fans from a pub while Noel is doing some studio time, and they end up having a fight and just like throwing mic stands at each other. It's just like, oh yeah,
I can't imagine having that kind of relationship, like with your brother, no less.
Yeah,
it's different, but it's very entertaining.
I don't think there's a many like that's the thing like talking about it's not the same as it used to be, but I hate that conversation. But I think just in terms of like it's also like there's just so much music out there, like everybody can upload shit.
Yeah.
So just the amount of the supply of music is just like fucking insane. I can't remember how many songs I uploaded to Spotify, but it's like something insane per day.
Yeah.
It's something
in the
crazy.
Tens of thousands a day or something.
More than that. I'd say I think it's more than that. Shit. But it's like it's very hard now for everybody to be like, oh, I heard this band like on the radio or TV where that's where you could only find it.
Yeah.
For everybody to be like, oh yeah, same. It's not like, oh, I had my daily mix going.
Yeah.
And I heard this song and everyone's like, huh?
And it's completely like,
yeah, my daily mix to your daily mix to someone else's Spotify recommendations is completely fucking different. I mean, depending on which streaming platform you use, but they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's a good thing overall, having that, like, how it's so much easier for people to start making and producing music and releasing it? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing that there's so many people doing it now that it's just like everything? You're like, how do you discover something new? There's
Great
just
question.
so much shit.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
it's like I love the fact that anybody can just put out stuff, but of course, if you want to, obviously there's a big difference between good. Well, that also depends on the eye of the beholder. There's something about music and art, the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely.
So that's what's it's like movies as well. I mean, I watch YouTube videos that look better than movies.
Yeah, straight up.
So it's It really is like the eye of the beholder, I think, of like, what I think is good, what someone else think is good. And then but to answer the question of like uploading, like the amount, like I think it's good. It's nice there's not so many like record company gatekeepers, I guess, which I think that was a problem for a while. And also, I was watching a video of someone talking about in the 2000s about the CDs and like just how the record companies were just pumping up the price,
Right.
like massively, and just releasing these albums that were fucking shit with like one good song on it or like a single, and that happened for like a little while. So like that's bullshit. So obvious, but then the internet, because it's such a beast. Yeah, I don't know. It's nice. Everyone has access to it, but the thinking music's not like a luxury or like a. It is a luxury, but it's like it's commoditized so much more than it's ever been.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just think like there is appreciation for it. Like the gigs at the moment in Auckland, I'm baffled in a great way with how positive in terms of the amount of people going to gigs at the moment, to local shows. I've been to quite a few local shows recent. Oh, not loads, but I've been to a few over the last year.
Yeah.
And just the amount of people I see at local shows, even compared to pre-COVID, it's very positive. Like, I think COVID kind of, after that stopped, especially in Auckland, everyone was like, fuck this shit, like, we got to get out. Like, I hate being locked away, and, and then you start missing those moments, and like connection, like a local show or at a gig. You don't get, but everyday life, if you think about everyday life now, where do you go and hang out with a bunch of new people or be around a bunch of people?
Yeah, it's very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah.
I mean, most jobs for people, if it's just on the computer all day, you go home, you're watching Netflix or you're on your phone all night. That's most people's lives these days. Kind of sad.
A little bit.
But like a lot of people live like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do you go for connection? Religion's not really a big thing, really, in Western society as much as it once was.
No.
In terms of going to church every Sunday or something where you would have a community.
Yeah.
So music is like probably one of the last places you can probably have that.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much what my social life revolves around is bandmates and other bands and people I meet at gigs and stuff like that. So it's definitely it's an important thing for me, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's really important for me too, like in terms of especially like doing this, like connecting with a lot of people. Like I really enjoy it. It's one of the best things about doing the podcast is get to meet people like yourself.
For sure.
I really enjoy it. But it's like back to that part, like with what we're talking about, like I think it's just like connection, getting like proper connection with people these days, I think is harder than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't. It's so easy to be closed off to yourself. I think you don't have to participate in not just society, but like if you just want to like work from home and I don't know, you don't need to like see anybody.
Yeah,
you just don't
have
need to. No,
you don't have to anymore. Whereas back in the day, you had no choice but to interact with people.
And now everyone just yells at each other in YouTube comments and fucking Instagram comments.
Yeah,
it's amazing what people get away with when, let's say, on the internet.
It's a special thing.
I still get baffled by what people get away with on the internet, because if you say that shit normally, you just get punched in the face.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You guys had much hate?
Much hate?
I can't imagine you have.
Not to my face, at least, really.
I'm just online talking about comments. People just being like, this is boo, or something. I don't know. People having a whinge.
I mean, maybe like years ago when we first started out or something, and maybe put out a demo and some old dude heard it and thought we were just like ripping off his favorite band or something, but nothing that I've heard about, at least. I'm sure people talk shit, but that's I don't care.
Talking shit's different from like someone like leaving a comment being like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that before.
Guys just that good.
I don't know about that. I think people maybe are just holding their tongues or just don't give a shit about us.
You guys need the hate mail. Hate mail in a weird way is a good sign.
Well, they say, that the best art divides people. Yes, it does. And some people are going to love it and some people are going to hate it. People have told me they love the stuff that we do. I don't necessarily believe them.
That's something else that's also a funny thing, eh?
Yeah.
Like when people, I love it. And I'm like, do you?
Do you really?
Do you like it? Or is it, because like, I try and when I'm with musicians, I'll try and be like, oh, like I like it. Like it's, but if it, if I'm like, oh, I'm not a fan, I'll also like be like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah, you got to have a bit of
and have my
honesty.
Reasons why with it, but also not be like, this is just bullshit. Like I don't like doing it. That's not productive.
Yeah, no, you got to have something to offer. You know, can't just be like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's shit. Why? I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's why even bring it up then? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I just want to talk about how I don't like you. And
Yeah.
I like the band. It's like, okay, cool. That was it. All right,
Nice,
sweet.
Appreciate
Had
it.
it a few times at a few gigs.
Oh,
and
yeah?
like online, like myself, yeah. I don't I just found it funny. But I think what was the podcast got a bit of hate in the beginning. That was funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just some comments, people being like, why the fuck is this a thing? And I was just like, well, you're watching it, so
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. You're watching it, so fuck off.
Yeah, it's a thing. But it just makes me laugh, like, with stuff like that. But I think people, like, also, you know, you can just be as hateful as you want online. You
Yeah.
can just be as hateful and just say the most horrific things and just get away with it. That's all good.
Yeah.
No one's going to check you for it.
I know.
You know?
It's
no
weird.
one's going to fucking be like, yo, if you say that again, I'm going to knock you out or some shit. Not
Meet
like
me
people
at the
that
bus stop.
not saying violence isn't the best option, but if you would, some of the things I read, I'm like, you're asking to get killed.
I know.
But then they're like, you know, fake profiles and all that shit.
Yeah.
And people just like, but people just do it for attention as well. I think we live in such a
Definitely.
narcissistic society.
Oh,
There's such a
yeah.
level where it's like, I just want to troll on a post. Not because even I don't like them, but it'll get lots of attention and I'll feel good about
That's
it.
it, eh?
I'll get 1,000 likes on a comment and I'll feel really good.
Yeah, yeah. It's so hard to sort of understand that mindset. You know, I could understand it if it was like a positive comment that got tons of attention. That's
Nah.
cool, but you know, like
Nah.
from a negative point of view, I can't. Like if I see something that like either like offends me or just bothers me, I just move on.
Yeah, I'm just like,
immediately.
oh, fuck off. And then you just like
I
move
just
on.
like I just go, oh, I dislike that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna ever look at that again. You know, and just move on. Yeah.
It's weird how like that is just the norm. I just see it, especially when I don't know some stuff I watch like the UFC and stuff. Fuck me, those comments are just like
Oh, really?
out of control. I mean, it's funny, but sometimes you read stuff and you're like, oh god, like to like everything just ripping people apart. Like, but you're a public figure. I mean, I think everybody's almost like a public figure now.
Yeah, in a way, for sure.
With social media, everyone's got a profile.
If you put yourself out there, then you know you got to expect something to come back
Yeah.
at some point.
It's not all going to be lovely.
No.
It's not all going to be people saying, you know, you're great, you know.
Yeah.
But that also is not healthy. So
No, I would
it's
agree
this
with that.
weird balance, eh? The hatred to like ultra positivity. Like, I think the example of that, I think, is like Kanye West, in my view, had too many yes men around him. To such a point where it's like got so delusional where he's like, you know, can just say, well, what was that thing he did? He got his like funding, his sponsorships pulled off him because he said like anti-Semitic. Have you heard about that?
No.
It was like about a year ago. Long story short, he made like
Yeah.
some Nazi anti-Semitic comments about the Jews and said some wild shit. Like fucking wild shit.
Fuck.
And then obviously his sponsors were like, you can't fucking say that. And then
can't have
there's
this.
just like you're like endorsing Hitler almost. It's like, all right. And then he got in shit. But then people around him was like, oh, you're so great. You're so awesome every day of your life.
Yeah.
For
That's-
like how many years? It's like how distant from reality are you gonna get where you're just like, yeah, I can just praise Hitler and probably be all good.
Yeah, it's got to do something to your brain, eh? It's got to mess you up somehow. It's not good for anyone, I don't think.
No, it's a weird like because I've thousands of people telling you you're amazing every day. Oof,
Yeah, like
what a
maybe
weird
one's
what a,
like cool.
what a weird one.
Yeah, a strange thing to deal with.
That would be a very strange thing to deal with.
Yeah. I guess
Maybe
just
you'll be like that in a
fame
few years though.
general.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe.
You may be. Everyone will be like, you're amazing, Lorenzo. Everything you do is amazing. You're like, yes, I'm fucking amazing. And then you start saying some wild shit. How much can I get away with?
maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll push the boat out, see what happens.
Sometimes. Just to be outrageous. And then you just, you're like, oh, I'll just do it. And then, Then, do you guys have any sponsors? Any music sponsors?
Music
gear?
sponsors.
Gear. Sorry, gear sponsors.
Nah, no, we don't.
That was
We
always
don't.
the dream. I always thought.
I know.
It's like if you get there, get like a sponsor of like a pedal. I'm like, even a guitar strap. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, like guitar picks or whatever. Like, fuck yeah. Get some fucking, I don't know, some XLR cables for my microphone. or
Fuck
some
yeah.
shit.
Sponsored? Mean.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. Anything.
Fuck yeah.
What's the guitar you play? What's your like your electric? You have one at home that you
Yeah, it's a Gibson
favorite?
Gibson Les Paul.
Gibson Les Paul.
It doesn't appear on any of the recordings I've done though. I think
What do the other guys play? Sorry, the other guitarists.
Oscar also has a
Oscar.
Gibson Les Paul. I have a 1994 standard Gibson, and he has a 1998 standard. They're both black. So we kind of almost have twin guitars.
Yeah. Are you left-handed or right-handed, or are you both right-handed?
I'm normal.
Yeah,
Normal.
that's right-handed.
Right-handed. Yeah.
Because then you can have like one guitar over here, one guitar over there.
But it's like this is my left strumming hand. I strum with the right hand.
Yeah,
just to be clear. What else does he have? He has a Chapman ML3, I think it's called.
Are they still making Chapmans? I thought something happened with Chapmans.
I think it may have. I'm very much out of the loop. He got this guitar quite a few years ago.
Okay.
He has a Fernandez as well.
Okay, I don't know Fernandez.
Yeah, I think they're kind of a niche 90s brand, maybe.
Yeah. Chapman guitars were really big for about 4 or 5 years. And then they just kind of, I feel like something happened that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was some drama with the dude, Rob Chapman.
Yeah, I think that's what I think happened, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know either, yeah.
But then ever since, I just don't... Because I follow a few music guys on YouTube and stuff. I just don't hear about that ever again. I'm just like, did that just stop? That was a really big company that had a lot of influence, and including Rob Chapman's channel he had going with... what's it? They do like How to Sound Like This Band or something, or... What was their series they used to do? It was him and another English guy.
And was his name Anders?
No, it's Captain, like the Captain or something like that.
And they ran it out of Anderton's music.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, fuck, what was that called? And they would show what gear you could get on the cheap to like sound like this band.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was a cool show, but that was like a big like YouTube series, and then I just remembered maybe that Chapman drama, and then just kind of went, what was it?
I don't know. It's probably some legal bullshit that happened.
Maybe. Some
political shit that I just don't care about.
Epstein's Island, who knows?
Something like, could be anything, man.
What was that? Stephen Hawking on the... Oh, that shit's fucking... Have you heard about that?
No.
Oh, bro, you are out of a loop. Come on.
I don't pay attention to fucking anything. It's part of my mental health regime.
That's fair.
To stay away from...
I just hear about it from my mates.
Right.
I'll just get sent some memes or something. I'm just like, why the fuck am I getting sent all these Stephen Hawking memes?
What's the deal with Stephen Hawking now?
So there was a whole thing... If you heard about Jeffrey Epstein, you might have heard about that topic.
I mean, yeah, I heard all about it, yeah.
Right. So the whole Epstein's Island, thing that happened... Apparently, there's been some footage and also evidence of Stephen Hawking going to the island.
Nice.
And apparently, one of the things he liked was, am I saying this right? It's like he liked watching children, or midgets naked do maths equations or something.
I was not expecting that, dude.
Something like that. I paraphrase a little bit, but but apparently it was like a records and like saying what he liked doing, and just I got sent some of these memes, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, Jesus. And I kind of like read a little bit of it, and I was like, wow. But that's the latest thing. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen
Hawking.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, bro. I mean, I just hear about this shit.
Yeah, against your will, eh?
I kind of am on social media, so
yeah.
I downloaded an app recently, which is so good. It's called Scroll Guard. I'm not even sponsored, but fuck, I want to give a shout out.
Yeah.
Because it has helped me so much with just getting off the phone.
So what does it do?
So if you're like on Instagram or it could be anything. Mm-hmm. Not that I go on TikTok apart from posting the stuff from the podcast. I don't. Yeah. I stay far away from that. But Instagram, because you get memes and some of the stuff on there is fucking hilarious. But it's a massive time waster. Suddenly an hour goes by. I'm like, fucking hell, what have I done?
Yeah.
But what Scroll Guard will do is it'll be like, it'll just like give you like a pop up being like, do you want to keep scrolling? And you can set the time limit of how long. It will maybe it's like you've been on the platform for a minute, or maybe you've been on the platform for like a few minutes or even less.
Yeah.
You can set how long, and then it will just go off.
Oh, okay.
So it's really good for that. So I found that really useful.
Yeah, that's cool. Scroll Guard, I might have to look into that.
Yeah, I use it for also YouTube. I love YouTube. Fuck, I love YouTube. But sometimes I need something like that to kind of be like, hey, it's almost like having my mum being like, get off the device. Yeah.
Do something productive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching something. And then it's like, no.
Yeah, you can't just get fully sucked in, eh? It's, and like as a musician, you sort of need to be on there to.
Well, that's we talk about this a lot on the podcast as well as the content creator and musician.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which sucks.
Yeah,
but
I don't like it. I mean, sometimes I like making videos and stuff. It can be fun and cool, but most of the time it's
takes away from the music.
Yeah, man.
That's another argument. Been heard a lot about as well, which I agree with. But unfortunately,
what are you
gonna do?
Don't know, man. I might just wait it out, eh?
I wonder when all the studies will come out. I'm waiting for the studies where like social media addiction becomes like cigarettes.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Do you reckon it's possible?
yeah, I think so.
Like studies will come out and be like, yo, it's detrimental to your health. It's going to cause like arthritis and like it's going to fuck your neck or do something. I don't know. Like maybe.
It already like fucks your mental state.
Yeah, well, it does like that. It gives you the dopamine rush and
Yeah.
it gives you like a crash at the end. It's like having like caffeine or even like drugs, pretty much. It's like
Yeah.
the same sort of shit. It's the same sort of like taps into the same dopamine brain chemicals that do that.
Yeah, probably not physically, but yeah, definitely.
No, in the brain. Yeah, not physically, but in the brain.
Yeah.
it will do that.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for like more of that to come out and people to be like, oh, this is bad.
I know.
And suddenly all of them. I mean, look, I'm on the social media as I post this podcast. I'm a full hypocrite. But a part of me slightly looks forward to it. When some of the, like, I think especially like Facebook and Instagram, like I love being able to talk to people. It's awesome. But but even like back when there was, people just used like Skype or something like that. Like that was fine.
That was cool.
Just have that.
Yeah, there's so much less of that now.
Just a simple like I guess WhatsApp is like that essentially.
Yeah.
WhatsApp is kind of like that. You just have like a group chat. You just message people or you call them on it. And that's it. There's no like profiles. There's no news. There's no nothing. It's just purely communication.
Yeah. I mean, Facebook Messenger, just, the actual messenger by itself is...
That's fine.
It's all good for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're sneaking in little things like
all the
those
ads,
little
all the
notes
ads
and stuff.
Yeah,
and ads as well.
Yeah, so many fucking ads in Messenger. I think that
Yeah.
was a couple of years ago they implemented that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I work in marketing and I do that shit. But I'm also like, fuck.
You're the one doing all of this.
I know. I am a part of the problem. I am a part of the problem. I will admit. But hey, man, everyone's on there. So that's the other part. Where's the market? On the phone.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
Are billboards as useful as they used to be?
I doubt it, man. I doubt it. Everyone's just looking at their phones, even when they're driving.
Yeah. I know. That's the thing, right?
Yeah. It's fucked.
Yeah, I've seen a few people. Yeah, I've seen a few people get like almost crash in front of me because of that. Or on the motorway is the scary one.
Yeah.
But that's what I find weird also about like Teslas. Like you have like the big fuck off screen.
Yeah.
And you might be watching like a movie, and it's just like I guess you got the cruise control and all that shit going.
It'll
so
take care of it.
that freaks me the fuck out.
It is weird, eh? Yeah.
Cruise control, okay. So, cruise control's okay, but when it's like fully automated, like
the automatic driving, yeah.
I don't, do any. I don't know. I don't like that.
Not really down with that.
No, and the excuse of like, oh, but if you get sick or something happens in the car, I can drive you to the hospital. I'm like, fuck off, fuck right off. I'd rather die in my car.
I'd rather give it all up.
I'd rather give it. I do not want that. I don't. There's what's a movie? Oh, it's so good. I watched it with one of my mates. But that talks about things like that.
Right, right.
Damn it. Fuck. I'll see if I can remember afterwards. But anyway, it talks about like the self-driving car, like, or technology, and like things are so automated to a point where it's like someone can just hack the car and just like drive you to like a spot and just rob you and kill you or something.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. But I can't afford a Tesla, so
no,
I'm good for now.
Good for now.
Good for now.
But I really like hybrids. I like hybrid cars. I think they're great.
Yeah, I wanted to get a hybrid, but I did not.
End of story.
End of story. That's my entire story.
That's it. You're a great storyteller.
Thanks, man. I'm a lyric writer. These things just come to me.
Yeah. Just get right to the point.
Yeah.
It's very lyric writer, eh? Yeah. Do you prefer, because some of the lyrics I've heard, back to the music part, like listening to the lyrics you've got, some of them are a bit like, they're a bit of metaphors, but some of them are definitely like, there's a lot of, like, some are quite literal. You sort of like to be in between.
Yeah.
Do a bit of both.
I try to think about my lyrics as little as possible. If that makes sense.
I know, I agree. I do that too.
Yeah, like I almost...
Whatever oozes out, I'm just like, all right, that'll work.
It's more about, I mean, it's, the melody to me is the thing that actually matters. And your, delivery and things like that. And if the words, a lot of my lyrics do mean a lot to me.
Sure.
And then a lot of them don't mean anything, but to other people they might think like, oh, what does that mean?
Like, what about like that song "Stuck in a Lie"? Like,
yeah.
Is that a personal one, or is that just sort of something you sort of threw together to have a nice melody?
Yeah, that's both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah. But I don't really want to delve into that. I don't want to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
I would
fine.
like people to hear it and just like, think their own little story in their heads about it.
That's fine.
But some of it does mean something and some of it is just kind of sounds cool and fits with the vibe of the song and everything and stuff like that.
I think Rick Rubin said, like, often with a song, you don't even know what it's about until sometimes a year later.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that experience.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think about that until I heard him say it, and I'm like, fucking hell, I've had something similar too.
That is a fucking beautiful experience for me. Like, it's happened to me quite a few times where like I look back or listen back to an old song and I'm like, oh my fucking Jesus, I was talking about this specific thing that was happening in my life that I didn't fully even understand at the time. It's a crazy thing to experience, but that's why I like to keep it sort of subconscious writing, you know? Like you just start singing and words come out and you're like, that sounds cool. That's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you look back and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I kind of do something similar. I'll like play like a section of a song on like a loop, and then I'll just be like, oh, whatever just kind of fits.
Yeah.
I'll just say a bunch of stuff, and then like if it sounds odd, I'll just, refine and all that, and then just like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah. It's a crazy experience.
Some people take lyric writing incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
I don't. And it sounds like you don't really either.
No, I mean, you
take it seriously. Obviously, you want it to sound good and things like that. But as in like a strict process of like trying to get a message across and all this stuff.
No, that's never it. I never write songs that are like stories or anything. It's all just like sort of just that subconscious sort of thing that just comes out. I'm sort of trying to take it a bit more seriously and write lyrics that I'm like proud of. Which I am proud of a lot of the stuff I've done, and also I think a lot of the stuff I've done is like not good. But that's all, part of the process of growing as a musician and all of that. But I couldn't imagine like writing words and then writing a song to those words, like some people do.
Some people do that, yeah. I find that very interesting. I think it happened like once ever where I wrote a part of a song without anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is like, oh. And then it kind of worked. But most of the time it's, guitar, music first. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this is where the lyrics fit. But I'm a guitarist first as well. So
cool.
Naturally, it's like the guitar happens. Yeah. And for ages, I used to just sing to the guitar. And I'm like, oh, I need to make the melody a bit more interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing that I had to consciously sort of learn as well.
Yeah.
Just, you just pretty much sing the riff or the melody. And it's like, no, do something different.
Do something different. Sometimes I try and get weird with it. And just like, I'll like try and sound things out or just be a bit off. And I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just see. Yeah. We'll just see what happens.
See what happens. It's a great thing to do. Just to be open and just like, whatever the fuck's going to happen, it'll happen. It's cool, man.
But, yeah. So, fucking, what was I going to say? I had nothing to say. As in, for your, you just said you mainly sing in your band. It's like you don't really do anything else.
No, not live. I mean,
not live. In the studio, you'll do a little bit of guitar, maybe. You'll dabble in a few.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's just been Oscar doing all the guitars, and that's totally fine with me because he's way better than me. I mean, I contribute, arrangement wise and song structure wise and shit like that. Like when we're in the jam room and jamming around and seeing what happens, I'll sort of give my opinions. But I'm pretty much happy to just to sort of do the Maynard from Tool thing where he just lets the other guys write the songs and he just comes in at the last minute and does not the last minute really, but just takes care of the vocals and the lyrics and stuff.
You reckon you'd take 15 years to release an album?
No, fuck that. I get pretty impatient. That's why I have a band and a solo project because I like to.
Always got stuff going.
I like to keep moving forward. Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah. There's just stuff comes out. Like, I got to do something with it.
Yeah,
so something has like, as in like I got to put it out. Like something's got to happen.
Yeah, I just like to be doing shit all the time, making music all the time and playing and putting stuff out. Yeah. But like, I guess I don't really need to play guitar in the band, and everything I could do guitar-wise, I do like as my solo project. So I get enough out of it there where I don't really need to do it with the band. So
true.
Yeah.
True. Sweet, man. Well, I let me just double check our time.
Where are we at?
Oh yeah, sweet. Maybe we'll do some quick fires, which
fires.
aren't always that quick. But
okay, I'll take my time.
I'll just shoot some slow fire.
Sure.
It's like like the gunpowder guns. It's like
Yeah.
Terrible joke. Anyway, I'll give you some of those. All right, let's start off with worst band you've seen live.
Oh,
Start off with a negative.
I can't remember their name. It was at the wine cellar. I probably can't. They're a local band.
Be real.
They're a local band, so I probably shouldn't say that.
If you want to be nice.
I can't remember their name anyway.
All right. What was their genre? What did they do?
I don't know. I would say like sort of shoegazy, poppy kind of stuff.
Right.
They were
Just
like
didn't translate.
Yeah, they were like these younger guys. They were like signed to labels. They had like millions of streams on Spotify. I was
Interesting.
Like, oh, this could be cool. And I went to see them live, and it was the most atrocious thing. Half of the set was them like playing with their laptop, trying to get their sample thing set up. And they're all there with like live guitars and drums and bass. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they'd start a song and play for 5 minutes, and I was like, okay. And then they'd just stop and like start laughing, and like they just weren't taking it seriously. Like, I'm all for like having fun and shit, but like you got to actually.
Sounds like those streams were bought.
Maybe.
Sounds like they were bought.
Yeah.
What are they called? Those farms? Stream farms? Is that what they're called?
I think so.
The ones that like you just continuously just rack up views and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fucked. Okay. All good. Well, I'll let you off the hook then.
Yeah.
You don't remember them?
I don't remember the name.
Allegedly.
It might come back to me.
Nah, it's all
I don't
good.
want to throw them under the bus.
That's nice of you. I would. An artist you're listening to at the moment?
Finger 11.
Finger 11. Holy fuck.
Yes, dude.
Paralyzer on loop.
Yeah, dude.
That's them, eh?
Paralyzer's sick. They got like 3 good songs, or songs that I really like.
Yeah.
So like the past like week or so, I've just been jamming those songs.
Yeah.
Finger 11.
A genre outside of rock and metal you like a lot? Or no?
Yeah. No.
Just rock all day, all night.
Yeah, I am kind of like that. I mean, I like some sort of old school hip hoppy kind of stuff and like some lo-fi jazzy kind of vibe stuff. But yeah, I am very much a rock and metal guy. I mean, there's so much within that.
Yeah, there is a lot.
That like, you could play something from down that end and it sounds so completely different to that end. But I am very much a band guy. Guitars, bass and drums, that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
An instrument you'd like to learn, if you could.
Probably like piano keyboard.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah. I mean, I can play drums sort of okay. I can play bass. I can play guitar and sing and stuff. But yeah, keyboard would be very cool to learn.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Weirdest gig you've played?
Weirdest gig?
Like just a strange... It could be a venue or the audience... Or like just the overall vibe of where it was just like a strange experience at a gig. Yeah,
we played a gig in the Mount, and someone there asked us to play their 50-somethingth birthday out on this little farm sort of vibe place. So we went out there and like they gave us money to like hire a PA and stuff, and
That's nice.
we drove out there and. Sort of, just played on this woman's deck to like her friends and stuff. That was kind of weird, but cool.
That's a cool weird one.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like random though.
And then something even stranger happened where this guy who was at the gig, he used to work for my parents' business, and he got fired from this business for, misconduct sort of thing.
Right.
And he recognized me and came up to me and was like, like, how's your family, bro? Like, how's getting all of it in my face and shit. It was very strange. So I just
that's a weird one.
Ran away and got our drummer and said, hey, bro, can you go and fight this guy? I didn't actually fight him, but it was really weird.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That was strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you got a favorite movie soundtrack?
I could do video game soundtrack.
Okay, video game soundtrack.
Probably Bully. Do you know that game?
Yeah, bro. Fucking hell, I've not heard that game in a long time.
Yeah.
I played it. I never had it, but I have played it a little bit.
Or Red Dead Redemption. Both Rockstar games. But the soundtrack to Bully is sick. Damn, it's probably a lot of nostalgia.
That's a lot of nostalgia on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was like those like Tony Hawk games and shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Amazing,
that's fucking...
amazing.
Of course,
yeah.
you know.
But no, talk about your favorites. I'm just mean like from that era. Yeah, for sure. Because Bully was like, what, 2006?
Yeah.
Around then? Yeah. There'd be some cool stuff on there.
Yeah,
All right.
big fan of the Tony Hawk games as well, though.
Fuck
Definitely,
yeah. Fuck yeah.
influenced a lot of my music listening.
Same. And Need for Speed was another one for me.
Oh yeah,
Need for Speed, Tony Hawk, and what was the other one? I think that was actually mostly it. Yeah, those two. I can remember right now. Sweet, man. Is there anything else you want to promote before you head off? Or is there anything you want to sort of shout out?
I don't know, man. Go check out the band Silcrow. My solo stuff, Lorenzo Hazelwood. We will have some gigs announcing shortly. Hopefully, we've got 2 more songs coming out from this EP, so stick around for those. Are you going to Foo Fighters tomorrow?
I'm not.
Oh man,
I've seen them twice.
Oh yeah,
But they are great. But yes, if I had not seen them, I'd seen them.
yeah.
Have you not seen them?
I've seen them once.
Oh yeah.
But I met their keyboard player today.
Oh
Rami.
shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Our manager is longtime friends with him, and she was like,
Small
I'm
world.
gonna go see Rami. Like, come and say what's up. So I met him today. That was a very cool experience.
That's
And,
real cool. I will say I got to meet Dave Grohl once.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was 16 years old. They
Wow.
played at the town hall. That was also a really cool gig, quite special. I got to see them play at the town hall. That was during that whole Christchurch earthquake thing, I think.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I went along to that, and we were outside. I actually had Ollie Lyons here from Written by Wolves, and because we went to high school together, so we were actually there. And then the band rocked up outside, and then Dave Grohl came, like, shook everyone's hand, and I
Shit.
was like, "Holy fuck, it's Dave Grohl!"
That's sick, dude.
Yeah. Now, also, they're loud. Holy shit! But it was
at
awesome.
the town hall, I bet.
It was so loud, bro. I couldn't hear for like 2 days. I think they damaged my hearing after that, but it was a mean gig.
Shit,
Worth
yeah.
it. But fuck, was it? I just remember it being so loud.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's sick though. That's fucking cool. You got to meet him.
Yeah, it was awesome. They're the great live band.
Yeah.
I think they did like 2 and a half hours for it. Fucking long as well.
Yeah, they go for ages, dude. I don't know how fucking Grohl's voice handles a day. It's nuts. He can just keep on going forever.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. It'll be interesting with their new drummer. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's
should be
unfortunate,
cool.
all that, but
It is
I'm
indeed.
glad that they're still going.
Yeah. No, yeah, me too, for sure.
It'd be a shame. Oh, sweet, man.
Yeah.
Might call it there. Oh,
Sweet
thanks
as,
for coming on, bro. Looking forward to maybe catching you guys sometime.
Yeah.
Silcrow. Sweet, man.
Sweet, dude. Thanks for having me.
All good. See you. See
See
everyone.
you.
Bye.